Hello, Janine, and happy Wednesday. So today we are doing our guidance reading. So for this reading, I like to use a different amount of decks. So today I have up to 5 decks that we may use. So we may use them all, we may not. But for every reading, I like to incorporate different decks as they kind of enhance each other, and then you get to see the synchronicity within them. Now for a past life reading, for example, that one I do use just one deck, but it is because it's based on that one theme. So today we're going to be starting with the Angel Tarot and then moving on to different kinds of Oracle to see the message, if there's anything that you have to cleanse or release or anything like that may show up. And for every reading that I do, I always like to use the healing crystal energy. As you know, I am a little bit obsessed with crystals. They are everywhere. And basically today, and with every reading, you're going to notice that I always have an amethyst cluster. This one is to bring healing and balance. Amethyst is actually perfect to have, especially during a retrograde, as it keeps you balanced, as well as it just kind of gives you that centering kind of energy, and then it helps you just kind of stay at peace, especially if you get social anxiety when you go out. Having an amethyst with you will help you remain, more at ease instead of more anxious. The next one that I do have, it is a clear quartz cluster. And this one is to enhance any of the messages that come across today. As we know, clear quartz will always enhance. So let's go ahead and get started. As you know, excuse me, my favorite part is that one-on-one feedback when you get back to me and you let me know how the reading went for you. If you need any meditations, if you have any questions, feel free to share them with me. And I'm actually very excited for this reading. And so what we're going to do now is we are going to lower that camera. And you can see this deck is quite thick, so I like to break it in half. Hence, if I don't do this, it is just a pain to kind of shuffle. Some decks, for some reason, are quite thick and wide, so it's, and I don't even consider my hands to be tiny. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with the Angel deck. And for the guidance readings, I like to stick with these particular decks, and I've worked with all of these for years, and they just connect to each other so good. So now what we're doing is we are laying down the cards. So we're going to start with 8 from the tarot. And as you can see, all the clients and my clients are my friends. They always laugh because my camera skills are not the best. So you will see me kind of moving the camera around a lot, only because I like them all to show in the viewfinder. So let's go ahead and begin with the first one. The first card that we have is the 5 of Earth. The 5 of Earth kind of talks a lot about fears that may be showing up, fears that it's almost like this part of your mind is constantly thinking, what if this goes wrong, or what if this happens? And it could be fears about money, or fears about future endeavors and things like that. This is actually also asking you to have the wisdom to accept help from others. It seems like you do a lot of things on your own, and you are always helping everyone, but you never want to ask for help yourself because you don't want to feel like a burden. Now this card is saying that it is time for you to ask for other people help, that you're not going to be a burden, but you can't continue to do everything on your own. It's almost like it's building up to you, and it just feels like it's too much for you to do at the moment. It's also asking you to start putting your needs first. As you see, it's almost like that healer energy. You're constantly putting everyone else's needs first, and then your needs kind of take the back burner. So it's time to start working with yourself without feeling selfish. This is something that you have to do in order to keep yourself grounded. The next one that we see is an awakening card. Now the awakening card is looking at things from different perspective. Now there may be a temporary standstill, but it's important to be yourself. So when we're talking about a standstill, it's almost like things don't seem to be moving forward, but things don't seem to be going backwards. It's almost like it's just stalled. Now, this is actually a good thing, because what we're seeing here is an awakening. Awakening meaning that you went through this transition period, and now you're beginning to sense things more clearly, to understand things more clearly. Now, it does take a while for us to get used to that. Awakenings are quite beautiful, but when they're happening, they may feel a little bit overwhelming. So if you're feeling overwhelming at the moment, the best thing to do is go through meditation, start meditating, and see where it takes you. That will also help you kind of quiet down the mind, especially the fears and the self-doubt. The next one that we're seeing is the King of Air, which is someone who's brilliant, impartial, professional. Now, it's actually telling you to learn to speak your mind with confidence, to seek out any kind of advice that you're looking for without feeling the fear of being judged. Also, balance mental and emotional considerations. So when we see here, it's the need of balance that we need to bring back. Like I said, there's too many things going on at once, and it's almost like you're not putting your needs first. So this is a big call. As you can see with the 3 cards saying, it's time for you to put your needs first. It's good that you're doing all these things for other people, but you need to bring some you time into your life. Now, when we see speak your mind with confidence, you tend to stay quiet to avoid any kind of debate or any kind of, you don't do good with people that are overwhelming. So you tend to keep a lot inside of you. Now, this is guiding you to work with that throat chakra and become more vocal. And you could do this still in a soft way, but this will help you in order not to keep things on the inside. So we don't want to keep things on the inside, because that creates a stale energy around us. So just kind of learn to speak your mind, but you can still do it in a soft way. And like I said, you don't always have to do that. It's not something that is saying, oh, speak your mind all of the time. But those times that you want to say something, but you choose not to, those are the times that you want to work with and speaking your mind. The next one that we see is the 6 of Earth. The 6 of Earth does show this gifts of money coming your way, gifts of money, of time, or effort. Now, there may be new career opportunities or some kind of advancement. It's also something about paying off debt. So you may be receiving a loan or be working continuously working on paying things off. Now, this is an abundance card, so this card is a good omen because it does show that abundance headed your way. Now, remember, we have that 5 of Earth over here saying about those fears or worrying about money. So then you have the 6 of Earth that's kind of saying, don't worry, everything will work out. So as you can see, we do see that synchronicity beginning to happen. So now let's move on to our next row. And the next one that we have is the 9 of Air. The 9 of Air is that mindset of kind of expecting the worst. Now, when we expect the worst, that we usually get a lot of sleepless nights or sleepless hours because we're constantly thinking about that. So this is like a excessive worrying that kind of needs to be put to rest. As you can see, they're resting, they're relaxing. So this is calling you to do meditation. It seems there's going to be a connection between you and meditation. And like I said, it's overactive mind. We tend to have an overactive mind until we learn to control our thoughts. It's almost taking back control, saying, you're not going to control me. You are my brain. I will control you. So it's putting those thoughts to the back burner. As you can see, that 5 of Earth and the 9 of Air speak of the same theme of those either self-fears that are stopping you from doing the things that you want, or the constant overthinking and worrying about things that may have not even happened yet. So now the next one that we see is the 4 of Water. The 4 of Water may be putting that fear, as we see, we continue off this card, and that may have made you miss a few opportunities in your life. Now, you may feel a little bit bored here and there, but it's asking you to open your eyes to the possibilities around you. Once again, opportunities will be showing your way, but if that self-doubt peeks through again, that self-doubt is going to prevent you from doing the things that you want. And I know all about that. It's that what if I do that and this goes wrong? What if I, that whole fear. So what we do is we stay in the safe zone. We stay where we are because this is our safe zone. But if we stay in our safe zone, we're not allowing ourselves to grow. So it's literally trying to put the fears aside and going for what you want to do, getting those things accomplished. So we do you see a lot of opportunities headed your way. Make sure you start working with those fears so they don't prevent you from stepping into those new beginnings. The next one that we see is renewal. Now renewal is a time to review and evaluate your life, where you are now, where you want to be, a favorable assessment of the facts. It's time to move in a new direction. So there is a change that's been pulling you lately. And if you've been thinking about that, then this is a great time to get that change done, to just go for it. Like I said, it's about taking risk, but it's also those risks will bring you will open those new doors for you. So as you can see, these have been synchronized one after another. Let's take a look at the next one, which is the Ace of Air. The Ace of Air, we see brilliant new ideas and inspirations. So you're finally seeing the truth in a particular situation, and you may be in a beginning stage with a journey in your life, and you may be finding it challenging, but the worst is now behind you. So this is a card of what I say, hope. It kind of brings hope. It kind of says, that card, that the Ace is all about beginnings, and also telling you that you are stronger than you think. So now what we're going to do is we're going to add another tarot, because now we kind of had that general reading. So let's go ahead and focus on this other, this tarot deck kind of reads much more different. It kind of focuses a lot on your internal. So let's go ahead and we don't do this particular deck in reverse. So if you see that I'm switching them around, is to put them the right way up. So let's go ahead and begin with the first one. The first one that we have is the Moon card. So when we see the Moon, what the Moon is talking about is vivid dreams and fears. Once again, we see the fears coming through. We saw them coming through in the first card, and now we see them coming through in the second row of the first card as well. So I'd like to hear what you think these fears, or if you know what this means. The Moon is all about facing those fears, and also those maybe experiencing vivid dreams. Those vivid dreams may be, how do you say, very linked to not your clairvoyancy but your mediumship. In order to find out more, I would suggest to do the Witch's Journey reading, which is all about your gifts. But when we see the Moon, in many ways this card kind of sticks to the idea of basically the unknown. It is the shadow realm, the place where dreams, fears, and mysteries are born. Much darkness can linger here, and if you aren't careful, this can lead to periods of anxiety and self-doubt. So almost as though you've lost your way in a house of mirrors, many great artists have roamed this inner landscape. It's where imagination and creativity drift freely upon the midnight air. When we see this card, it is all about shadow work. So working with your shadow side, the side that we have that we don't show people. We put our resentments in that side, we put our regrets. So this is asking you to go in and do that work and see what you're ready to release. So there may be some release that needs to happen because we've seen release a lot in the reading as well. Now the next one that we see is the Ace of Pentacles. Now the Ace of Pentacles is an abundant card, and it's also a beginning card. So we see prosperous beginnings as well as abundance headed your way. Now when we see this, it's kind of a time to stay grounded and just take time to appreciate nature. You may also find lots of financial opportunities headed your way. So once again, it's either some kind of new career or a new position, something that's going to make you feel more secure when you're talking about finances. This is also a new beginning. So as you can see, we have the Ace of Pentacles, and over here we have the Ace of Air. So you have two aces talking about those new beginnings. So you may be entering one, or you are about to enter one. Now the next one that we see is the Three of Pentacles. So when we see the Three of Pentacles, this is all about teamwork and about determination and not losing focus. So when we see this, it's kind of usually related to your job or career. The Three of Pentacles suggests you must focus all of your efforts. Discipline, strategy, and hard work are needed more than ever. Now, if you become weary or overwhelmed, rely on those around you. This is a card of teamwork, so you may need the strength of others to conquer the mountain. As you can see, it's very, very in tune with the tarot up here when it said you don't want to do everything on your own. You want to start asking other people for help, and it is that healer inside you that you don't like to ask other people for help, but at the same time, you don't have a problem in helping other people, but you need to bring that into balance. As you help other people, make sure that you're being helped too, because it's almost like you have way too many things on your plate. The next one that we're seeing here is the Daughter of Wands. So we see your energy as visionary, as passionate as well, kind of like very free spirit. And what we call a truly visionary creature. You usually wait till later to settle down, and you're kind of always busy with your career, so you can be stubborn and much stronger than you know. So this is kind of the card is representing your inner strength, that inner goddess, reminding you that you're stronger than you know. Now, when we see visionary, this may be linked as someone who loves to work with affirmations or intent, or it may be talking about your clairvoyancy gift as well. So this one can go both ways. So I'd like to hear your thoughts about that particular card. Now, when we move on to the next one, what we're seeing is the Devil card. Now, the Devil card is one of those cards that gets a bad rep, but it is actually all about cleansing the negative thoughts out of your mind. Now, a lot of people see this card and they think it's a bad omen, but what this really means or says is not only working with your shadow side, but beating those fears. Right now, the Devil card would represent the fears that keep stopping you from doing the things that you want to do. This is why the first card that you have was that Moon card, telling you, let's begin that shadow work in order for you to release what needs to be let go of. So we do see a lot of healing that needs to happen. So now what we're going to do, we're going to move on to the last part of the reading. Now, this one is the Mermaid Oracle, and it is one of my favorite decks. And we're going to take a look at kind of like that healing part. So what you can do to heal, or what you can do to connect, or to cleanse, or to relax, and things like that. So let's go ahead and pull this up a bit. The first one that we see is Divine Sensuality. So Divine Sensuality is all about connecting with that inner goddess and making sure that you are also bringing pleasure into your life. Not only, you know, with the things that you like to do, but pleasure itself. It's a good way a very good way to release. So this would be the first card. Now, the second card that we see is the Energy Field and Adjustment. So we do need to get you an aura cleansing, or kind of take a cleansing bath, or just as simple as taking sage and cleanse your energy field, cleanse yourself and cleanse your home. This will help lift up that whatever stale energy may be around you. So we do see this. This is a great one to see, especially when we see that you're doing so much and you're forgetting about yourself. Now, this may also be linked to your clairsentience. If you have this ability and you're literally picking up energy from people day in, day out, you need to cleanse that, because you're still carrying that energy when it's not even yours. Now, if you want, I could send you links that you can read about clairsentience, clairvoyance, mediumship, and see which one sounds or resonates more with you. Those links kind of usually shed a light, and you're like, oh wow, you know, there's nothing wrong with me. This is part of my gift. So if you'd like those links, let me know and I will send them to you. The next one that we see is air. So breathing deep, entering into life, exchange of life, and bringing energy. This is basically tuning into your breath. When things get hard, when you need a break, just remove yourself from the situation and take a deep breath. You only need to take about 3 deep breaths. I've seen a lot of people saying they heard it's 10 breaths or 20 breaths, you know, and if you take that many deep breaths, you're probably going to end up getting lightheaded. So what you want to do with your breath is just kind of bring yourself back into focus, bring yourself back into center. So 3 deep breaths will actually do that for you, especially in situations that you can't stop and meditate. The breath is going to become your best friend. The next one that we're seeing here is the Selkie and her skin. This is all about reclaiming back your power, not letting anybody have that power to dictate what you need to do or how things need to be done or how you feel. Knowing that you have that power within you, as well as reclaiming your authenticity, being who you are. And the people that love you will love you no matter what. But it's been so long that you've had to just almost kind of stay quiet to make other people comfortable. Now it's your time to shine. It's your time to bloom. As you see, you're in that awakening. So this is a very, very sacred femininity, powerful card. Now, the last one that we see is the homeland. So the homeland is all about arrival. It's all about that part of a journey that's ending, and a new journey is going to be beginning. There's establishment, there's building, there's being settled, and there's a lot of renewal. So this may be part of that new beginning that you're either on right now or that may be headed your way. So when we see this reading as a whole, this is quite very interesting because we do see a few of your gifts coming through. We saw some mediumship. A medium is someone who can get in tune with spirits. So spirits, not spirit guides, spirits. Spirits are people that used to be in the life form and now they're in energy form. This may be why you may be having vivid dreams. A lot of times those mediumship dreams do become premonition. So I would suggest for you to keep a journal next to your bed and start writing down all of these dreams that kind of wake you up in the middle of the night. You know, those dreams that takes you a moment to breathe in and realize, okay, I'm in my room. You know, the very vivid ones. You want to start writing them down because sometimes if you start writing them down, whatever it is that you remember, whether it makes sense to you or not, you can actually decipher the dreams after you've written down a few, or you can start seeing a synchronicity. Maybe you start having the same dream. Maybe the dream actually continues. Maybe the same visitor comes into that dream. So having a dream journal, I would suggest to you 100%, just a normal little notebook with a pen and just have it next to your bed. So if you wake up, just take a moment and write it down. Usually you have a 10-minute window to write it down before you begin to forget the main details of that dream. Now, the second thing that we see here is your clairsentience and your clairvoyance. Now, in order to get more information, what I could do is send you those links so you could read through them and see if they make sense. A clairsentient is kind of like an empath, but an empath is considered kind of like a sixth sense, when a clairsentient is considered a psychic ability. Clairsentients are people that could read people. You know if this really nice person who's always smiling, you know if this person has really bad, just like a bad energy, as well as you could sense the opposite. If there's someone who's very quiet that makes other people uncomfortable, you can immediately sense that this person is actually a good person. Now also, it may be picking up energies. When you're clairsentient, let's say you're in line in a supermarket and you have your basket and you're ready to pay and you're in line. And you're fine, right? You're fine. You're not feeling anxious. You are just standing in line. All of a sudden, you get hit with this anxiety. So you look at your basket, you realize you have everything. Then you look at your phone, you realize everything's fine, and you cannot pinpoint where this anxiety is coming from. Now, this is very typical for clairsentience. What this means is that you're picking up somebody's anxiety, either someone who's standing in front of you or someone who just happened to walk by. And you're picking up this anxiety, and you'll see that it fades away on its own. But when you're feeling it, you are on constant thinking, where is this coming from? What's going on? Is something happening? That may be also what is giving you stale energy, making you feel so exhausted, because if you're not aware that you have this gift, but what I just said made sense to you, you need to cleanse and cleanse and cleanse almost daily. And then what the other thing that we see here is kind of making sure you're putting yourself first. So we see a lot of healing, and this is something that I see with healers all of the time. We are always helping everyone and putting everyone's needs first, but when it comes to ourselves, it's like we can wait, and we put ourselves in the back burner until we realize that we don't give ourselves that time. So do something for you. Don't feel selfish about it. The more self-care and time that you bring for yourself, the more energy you will have and the more clarity you will have to help other people. So it is a win-win situation. So what I'm going to do, because I know that was a lot of information, I'm going to download this, I'm going to send it to you, and I cannot wait to hear back from you. So lots of love and light to you, Janine, and blessed be. Bye-bye.